Let's get loud.
All right, welcome to this edition of Receipt Tuesday. My name is Aaron Thomas, otherwise known as Native Seahawk, and welcome to this edition of Receipt Tuesday. Yeah, look at this. Got one of these shirts outside the stadium on Sunday. Buck around and find out, and then it says on the back, I'm a Seahawk, bitch. Anyway, yes, I think the Dolphins, they figured out if they fucked around, they were going to find out, and they did this last Sunday. On this edition of Receipt Tuesday, this is what I had to say that I thought was going to happen. Those are my question marks going into Sunday. Is the offensive line? Can they solidify it? Can they work on cleaning things up, making sure that they're communicating properly, and being able to work with Gino to protect him? So they've got a pretty good defense. It's an average defense, I would say. But I think, again, Seattle's going to win that game, again, at home with a 2 or less Dolphin offense. Their running game is still solid. They still got really fast players, key positions. So I'm not going to, totally think that it's going to be a blowout in any way. It's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be somewhere around 27-24. Seattle wins by 3. All right, so I was way off. And I'll be the very first to tell everybody when I mess up. And yeah, I because of all the key players that the Dolphins have all at the positions of skill, I thought for sure that they would score more than 3 points. And I'm not giving the Seahawk defense the credit it deserves, because like all the national pundits are saying is like, well, are the Seahawks really for real at 3-0? And the one thing I'll say is that, yeah, they have not played an established quarterback since the beginning of the season. However, they've been playing against the number one defenses in the, so the Broncos number one defense, the Patriots, and now the Dolphins starters. So it's not like they have all kinds of backups there on their defenses. And Seattle, their offense has been just lights out, whether it's, somehow getting almost 100 yards a game on the ground, or Gino finding his receivers for some big plays. I think a lot of the credit has to go to offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb and the work he's doing along, again, that offensive line is still very, very questionable. I've been saying that since before the Broncos game. How are these 5 guys going to play together? And of course, the biggest glaring hole that we have that's just, oh my God, atrocious at times, is the interior offensive line. Again, but it takes time for Connor Williams, who is the captain of that offensive line. He's, again, a guy that we got from free agency, came in very, very late. We didn't get him until right before the first game of the season against the Broncos. And so it just takes time for him to work alongside Tomlinson and Anthony Bradford. And, everybody's trying to call for Bradford's head. And believe me, it's not as easy as you think in terms of just replacing him with Haynes. Like a lot of us want Christian Haynes to start there at right guard, or even left guard, and take Tomlinson out. Either way, it's a really difficult thing to manage, and it just takes time. I know offensive line coach Williamson has got to be just trying to, figure out how to better make it easier for the guys to communicate. Excuse me. How do they communicate better? How do they draw this up so that they're talking to each other, that they're communicating with Gino to make sure that there's max protect, or to be able to understand? I mean, there's got to be communication gaps. That's one of the major reasons why you start seeing defensive linemen cutting through and getting a beeline right to Gino, and he has to step up, or he has to use his wheels to get out of danger. It reminds me a lot of the first 2 seasons with Russell Wilson, where the offensive line just didn't protect him, and he had to improvise and do what he had to do. And again, I've been calling for this for the entire season so far. We've got to figure this out, because Geno Smith is currently your most valuable player on this squad. because again, I've been saying this: if he goes down, it's over. The season is pretty much. I'm not going to say it's fully over because thank God we've got a 3-0 record. But are we a playoff team without Geno Smith? Are we going to go deep in the playoffs? No. And some would argue that we probably won't even be a deep playoff contender with Geno. However, when you have a defense the way that Seattle does and holding any team to 3 points, I don't care if it's Skylar Thompson back there or Boykins or whoever that got the third string guy was that came in, Tim Boyle. If it wasn't, you still have to play at least in an average or above average defense in order to hold somebody to 3 points. And in theory, had the offensive line played better, I think it would have been a 44-3 win, not a 27 or 24-3 win. It would have, again, my Receipt Tuesday prediction of Seattle winning by 3 was completely off. And I eat crow this morning as I again fuck around and find out. I think again, Seattle is again they're still putting it together. Let's put it that way. And Lumen, you guys were so loud. I was there. I barely just got my voice back. That's probably why I was crackling a little bit this morning as I'm recording this video, this podcast. And so, yeah, we were loud. We were devoted. We were really cocky at the end when we won. And there was a lot of Seahawk fans that were gloating in the faces of Dolphin fans. And I took off right after the game to fly back down here to Palm Springs, California. And it was an hour and a half line to go through TSA. And I only bring that up because I feel so freaking bad for all those Dolphin fans that were trying to get out of Seattle to go back to wherever they're from, probably in or near Florida. And, they had to sit and wait in an hour and a half line and inch their way closer to the security gate like I did. So, adding, salt to the wound after getting just demolished. I heard several Dolphin fans saying I should have stayed home. This is BS. What was I thinking? I just feel for them a little bit. But again, as Seahawks fans, we travel. We go to the East Coast. I went all the way to Munich, Germany, to watch the Seahawks play and lose. So it isn't the funnest thing. But again, hats off to Coach Mike Mack and of course offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb, and that defense and offense. Again, they're not fully clicking, and I think that's what we hope for this coming this coming Monday against the Lions. And I'm not going to get into my predictions yet, but anyway, it was fun heading to Lumen and being able to see some family and friends, and I'm hoping to be back up there for the 49ers game on Thursday Night Football because the Niners, they're reeling, and we play them in just a few weeks, and they could definitely be without Debo. They could be without McCaffrey. They could be without, and their defense is not their defense in San Francisco is not depleted, and yet they're playing as if they were missing, all kinds of players on defense, and they're just not clicking either. So we hope that they don't click and they continue to fall backwards. But yeah, I hope to be up there for that San Francisco Thursday night game in Seattle. But it was great to be up there and hanging out with everybody. A little bit more warmer climate. As we get into October, it's going to start getting colder up there. I'm not looking forward to that as now a adapted Southern Californian Seahawk fan, but it is what it is. The Seahawks are not cold; they are hot, and we continue to see what they're going to keep doing, how they're going to figure things out. You've got Mafe, or you've got Uchenna Nwasu coming back. It looks like K9's going to be good to go. I hope finally he's going to be back. So we'll get into that more on the 11th hour, 12th hour podcast that we'll do on Monday next week, right before kickoff, as we kind of take a look at who we're looking forward to, and then we'll of course use that for next Tuesday receipts. My name is Native Seahawk, otherwise known as Aaron Thomas. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for subscribing, hitting that like button, and take care wherever you're at. God bless you. Go flippin' Hawks, and yeah, Lions, fuck around, Lions, fuck around and find out. God bless you. Thanks. Take care.